there, complete situation report for you from Israel, Palestine, a conflict. What happened in the last 12 hours or so. I did a video, detailed video yesterday, 20-minute long video. This video will cover the developments of the last 12 hours. Firstly, four-pronged attack on Gaza by Israeli Defense Force. I'll have a look at four fronts. It seems the military is trying to divide Gaza. It is trying to split Gaza into northern and southern parts, and military IDF close to splitting Gaza into two, it seems. Secondly, Hassan Nasarullah, Hezbollah chief, everyone is waiting for his speech. He is due to deliver a speech on Friday, and ahead of his speech, Iran's Revolutionary Guards Corps chief has arrived in Lebanon. Thirdly, Houthi fighters from Yemen has released a video showing how they fired missiles yesterday, day before yesterday, on Israel from Yemen. Fourthly, Hamas has released two videos and attacks, IDF strikes on a refugee camp in Gaza continuing. 3 attacks in the last 3 days, 3 airstrikes. People killed there, civilians killed there. Maybe UN says the attacks could amount to war crimes. And lastly, Jordan has recalled its ambassador to Israel. Blinken is going to arrive in Israel, reported. Let's start with the ground entry, ground operation into Gaza from Israel-controlled territories. Now, what we have learned so far is that from 4 different directions, Israeli military is trying to make inroads into Gaza, while infantry is on its way, marching, heading on these 4 fronts. Air power is behind infantry, and from the sea, Navy is also conducting strikes to support this ground operation. Armored infantry jointly conducting this operation. 4-pronged attack, 4 fronts. First front is along the coast. Northern Gaza, from Israel-controlled territory. In northern Gaza, Israeli military has entered, moving along the coast. Second front, again a northern front from Israel-controlled territory. IDF has entered Gaza towards Beit Hanun, which is on northern Gaza-Israel border. Third front is very crucial. Third front is eastern side of Gaza. From here, IDF has entered and now it is heading towards the coast. And this is the front which is trying to divide Gaza into two. Northern Gaza, southern Gaza. And if Israeli military on this front manages to reach the coast, it means northern Gaza will be completely cut off from southern Gaza. That is what Israeli military is planning to do. Can military do that? That remains to be seen. Fourth front is a southern front, though main fighting is in northern Gaza, but there is a small front on southern Gaza side as well. Towards Khan Yunis, Israeli military has made some ground incursions reportedly. So this is the situation in terms of the planning adopted by Israeli military to make territorial gains in Gaza. 17 Israeli soldiers have been killed so far in this ground operation, confirmed. Latest casualty is a lieutenant who is a reservist, Lieutenant Yuval Zilber. His death has been confirmed by Israeli military. 17 deaths in this ground operation alone. In total, Israeli military has suffered around 340 losses in terms of deaths so far since the start of this war in October, on the 7th of October. Total casualties on Israeli side stand at around 1800. 1,800 casualties on Israeli side. While on Palestine side, 8,800 casualties, including large number of civilians, children too, around more than 3,000 children dead in this war. 130 casualties in West Bank alone, where at night Israeli military conducts raids and people are arrested, detained, killed. 130 casualties there. So this is the situation in terms of ground attack on Gaza. Secondly, Lebanon, where Israel-Lebanon border, Hezbollah claims to have shot down a drone of Israeli military. We have no confirmation. No video has been shared by Hezbollah so far, but Hezbollah claimed that a missile was fired and a drone of IDF was downed. IDF has confirmed firing of a missile, surface-to-air missile. This is the first time, I think, that Lebanon-based Hezbollah has fired surface-to-air missiles. Their earlier attacks were in the form of guided missiles which hit targets on the ground in Israel from Lebanese territory. But this is attack from surface to air, first attack. We don't know if the drone was downed or not. Evidence is missing so far. Meanwhile, everyone is waiting for Hassan Nasarullah, Hezbollah chief, to speak. He is due to speak on Friday, and ahead of his speech, Ismail Qani, Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps chief, has arrived in Beirut reportedly. So on Friday, what will Hassan Nasrullah say? Will he announce total participation, all-out participation in this war to support Gaza-based Palestinian groups? That remains to be seen. So his tomorrow's speech is very crucial. Maybe he'll try to motivate Muslim leaders, Muslims across the world, to rise in support of Palestinian people. I don't think he will announce an all-out war against Israel. Hezbollah is conducting surgical targeted attacks. Maybe it is waiting to see what is happening in Gaza. If Hamas PIJ come under total pressure and they are about to crumble in Gaza, we could see Hezbollah enter Israel from Lebanon. So far, Hezbollah is waiting. It's trying to analyze what is on the ground situation in Gaza. That is my understanding. Thirdly, Yemen-based Houthi fighters have released a video. They say they fired missiles on Israel, and yes, they fired missiles. Some were intercepted over Eilat, which is an Israeli city in southern Israel. Houthi fighters managed to reach Israel over Red Sea. So they have this missile firing capability to hit Israel. But Israel has air defense capabilities, David Sling, Iron Dome, other air defense systems working, and missiles fired from Yemen by Iran-backed Houthi fighters were intercepted in the air. Houthi fighters say that they will continue their attacks until attacks on the people of Gaza stop. So Houthis involved, but their involvement is like involvement of Hezbollah. And I think Houthis cannot carry out lots of attacks. Hezbollah is in a stronger position to put pressure upon Israel than Houthis, but new front has been opened. And then a front on Syria-Israel border is also active, though it's not very hot front. But last night, reportedly, some interceptions were reported on Syria-Israel border. Meanwhile, Hamas has released two videos, viewers. First video shows a drone which dropped munitions on Israeli soldiers. Israeli soldiers on the ground in Gaza, and they were hit in this strike. How many were killed or injured, it's not clear, but Hamas is using drones, kamikaze drones, or other drones which drop munitions. This wasn't a kamikaze drone attack, it was a drone which just dropped munitions on IDF personnel on the ground in Gaza. Second video from Hamas shows Hamas's underground system of tunnels and how from underground Hamas fighters come out and they carry out attacks. This video shows a tank of Israeli military hit by a Hamas fighter in a strike in RPG. In this attack, we can clearly see that the tank was hit. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts underway, US stopping efforts for ceasefire. Israel is opposing ceasefire. US has been opposing ceasefire from day one. Israel wants to crush Hamas. US is backing Israel, so no progress made towards ceasefire. Meanwhile, Jordan has recalled its ambassador to Israel. Jordan shares a long border with Israel. And we have seen protests in Jordan by people in support of Palestinians. But Jordan and Israel expressed its disappointment over Jordan's decision to recall its ambassador. Meanwhile, Amman also recalled its ambassador. Amman says it will not return its ambassador until the end of the war. Yesterday, two South American countries recalled ambassadors. Bolivia cut off diplomatic ties with Israel, and Chile recalled its ambassador. So diplomatically, Israel, we cannot say is isolated, but still pressure is there on Israel. But Israel is used to this pressure. I don't think it will give in to this pressure. And attacks on air strikes on targets in Gaza continuing. Jabaliya refugee camp, the biggest refugee camp, came under attack just 2 hours ago. This is the third attack on this refugee camp in the last 3 days. Around 200 casualties are being confirmed in attacks on airstrikes on Jabaliya refugee camp. 2 days ago, Israel claimed that a Hamas leader was hiding in tunnels under the refugee camp and that he had been killed in these airstrikes. Israel used a very powerful bomb to hit Jabaliya camp, which has been totally destroyed. Hamas denied Israel's claim, it dismissed Israel's claim, but attacks on Jabaliya continue. Around 200 casualties are being reported in Jabaliya in these strikes by Gaza-based health authority. Lastly, Blinken, US Secretary of State, is due to arrive in Israel. Reportedly, he'll arrive on Friday. Not just in Israel, he'll visit other countries in the region too. This is Blinken's third visit to the Middle East. US opposing ceasefire. Israel not ready for a ceasefire. Iran-backed elements backing Hamas, PIJ, but not directly, indirectly. So the war is set to go on, it seems. Thank you for watching.